All right. Crossroads podcast number 4 with the homie Bud.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, dude? Thanks for doing this, man.
Hey, not a problem. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. And thanks for inviting me onto y'all's podcast, The Real Ones.
Yes, sir. Real Ones
Dude,
Podcast.
dude, that was legit. I was like, dude, this is a show, like an actual show.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we got a few topics that we talk about. We each kind of have our own topic, and then we do a controversial topic at the end of the show. And
Hmm.
that's pretty much what we go off of, but we don't have like any kind of in particular, which all improv basically.
Right. So, do you guys, is it focused on film? Because
Pretty
talking about,
much. Like originally the show was going to be a pop culture show,
uh huh.
but because of our name, it kind of put us more into a niche. And then we'd already started doing this thing called the Theme Team Remix. And we're
Right.
basically, yeah, remixing movie themes and all the music from the coolest movies that we like. And that's basically what we started doing. But yeah, it's pretty much centralized around movies and TV shows, video games, shit like that.
Nice. Yeah, dude, it was fun. You and Kaz and Melissa Rose.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have been. How long did you say you were doing it? Like not even a year yet?
Yeah, we started in February. But
Nice.
yeah, it's not even a year yet. So we're coming up on the anniversary, of course, after January. But
So, have you guys known each other longer than that, or did it just kind of come together recently?
me and Kaz have known each other probably about 3 years, I'd say 3 or 4 years now.
Nice.
We know each other, outside of music, and then we came across the fact that we do music together through another friend, and then we just
Hmm.
started doing projects together. We did like say about 3 or 4 songs together. And he kind of came forth about an idea of doing this theme team. Well, we didn't have the name yet, but we just started pitching back forth ideas, and it just started, snowballing from there and became a project that we do. So pretty cool.
Dude, I don't think I've actually even seen many other things like that, like down that lane.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. It's what do you got? A black and mild,
Yeah, the black and mild wine,
wood tip, plastic tip.
plastic tip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. I was definitely. I love me some black and mild. I haven't had one for a long while. I did have a big fat cigar not too long ago, and dude, those things are like a meal in itself.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you definitely got with a cigar, you got to put it out like 6 times before you finally finish the thing. They can be harsh. Like
Oh, dude.
I'm supposed to be quitting right now, and I'm not doing too good of a job. So
Hey, man,
sorry.
that's what I would be quitting like, cause I'd be addicted to cigarettes, and I was like, okay, I'm getting off the cigarettes. But if I had like something going on, like a show or something, and I'm like, well, I'll get a single cigar, for
That's
tonight.
basically what I did for tonight.
Yeah, and then
I
it kind
haven't smoked
of,
all weekend.
hey man, it's hard. Like it's just, I'd say tobacco or and the cigarettes and nicotine. That's one of the most addictive things and hardest habits to break.
Definitely, definitely.
But if you have it in mind, like if you're like, oh, I want to, then
Actually,
eventually.
quit probably a couple years ago, and I quit for almost an entire year. No nicotine at all. Then
Oh,
I started
nice.
hanging out with the wrong chick, and
Oh
then
yeah.
started allowing her to smoke in the house. Then I was like, hey, let me hit that cigarette. Hey, let me get a half a cigarette. And it just went from there. Then I started buying black and milds, and you know how it goes right back into the same bullshit.
Oh yeah. Life. It
Yeah.
just. I guess that's we have that tendency. I like
Well,
the Savage shirt, by the way, because I actually am wearing a Savage shirt too.
heck yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I was like, yo, get a shirt on to kind of capture the vibe. I was like, yo, bud, because your music will be kind of dark, but kind of light too, is what I've noticed.
Yeah. We've got that
Um,
the good mixture between both worlds, I think.
Well, yeah, like that one song, the one that you hit me up for the cartoon, Moist Phlegm Flaps.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is hilarious.
I still
But
I listened to that song and I actually cringe just because like I thought it was hilarious the first time I made it, and it was like, oh yeah, this shit's gonna go viral. And I put it out and I was like, okay, people probably aren't gonna listen to it and hear what I hear when I listen to it. Because when I listen to it later and I listen from the aspect of somebody else, I'm like,
all
yeah,
right.
this guy's kind of fucked up.
I think that about myself all the time where I'm like, man, people gotta just be like, this person is so strange. Like, but art, and it
Yeah,
takes time. It's weird what does go viral or what doesn't. Like, I'll make some things sometime where I'm like, I'll invest a bunch of time and money into it, and then it's like, unless it's like marketed and boosted and properly organically handled,
yeah,
I would be like, it doesn't go that far. And then something that was just off the cuff, no thought, no editing, get way
yeah.
more traction on the internet. But
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like one of the videos I ended up doing a remix for, we had somebody, I forget the name of who it was. It was on our YouTube for Theme Team Remix. They asked to do a Fairly Odd Parents remix. So it
hmm
was like our first person that asked to do for, do any kind of remix for. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it since they asked for us to do it. I did it, and now it just like hit 15,000 views. The thing just it gets about 100 or 200 views
and
every day or so.
it probably organically happened that way too. Like it was just like,
Yeah,
I don't know, that one just kind of went off.
we didn't put any promotion behind it. Didn't even put a dollar behind it. We just posted it like our normal stuff, and I guess whoever we did it for put it on a playlist or something, and it just gets fucking views and views. It just keeps on going up. I'm like, hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, I will definitely put the links to that channel, and because the theme team isn't the only music you produce, your own music.
Yeah, I do
So
my own
that,
stuff under xBVDDx, Bud.
but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when you probably spell it like that so that I don't know, it's probably
It
easier to find in the matrix.
It is like if people actually look that up, it goes straight to it. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest reason why I did that, and also aesthetically, like it's pleasing to the eye. I like it.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of edgy, like rock and rolly,
yeah,
and your
new
font you
age.
have, yeah, that font you have kind of reminds me of like some like death metal shirts or something. So,
Yeah,
well, that album you had, Silent Ill,
yeah,
it's like that Silent Hill themed or kind of parody thing you got going on,
yeah. Like I'm a huge fan of Silent Hill. If like you can't tell that in
right?
the background.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I based it off of that just because I silently kind of did that album without promoting it at all, and then just kind of put it out. Like I put it on Spotify and all that through DistroKid. That's something I was started working on for a couple years and just put out. And because I've been doing the stuff for the theme team, I haven't really been doing anything personal, like music wise.
Was that
But
your first project you released like that?
no, actually, I've got a couple other albums. I've got an album that's on SoundCloud. I've got an old album that's on Reverb Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Like as these sites were coming out growing up, because I mean I've been doing music since I was shit. I'd probably say about 13 years old is when I first started doing like vocals for a little
Like
band.
singing and rapping. Oh, to a band, cause yeah, you were
Yeah,
drum too. I see you got a
yeah,
drum kit back there.
yeah. I play the
Nice.
drums. I never actually played for a band. I just kind of played for fun. I've always been more of the vocalist, but I always loved the drums, so I played the shit out of them. But yeah, I used to be in a metal band. It's out. That shit's on Reverb Nation. It was from a band called Oracle's End, and I was in a band called Dead by Nightfall before that, and
Nice.
then a couple other bands before that. But we only did like a few good songs. Played some high school talent shows, shit like that. I've always done music though.
Well, yeah, I seen some pictures on your Facebook of you drumming, and you had a microphone, so you
Yeah,
could do some vocal stuff while drumming.
I was actually doing a drum set for a while. Like I played the Masquerade for a while, Swayze's. Um,
Oh,
I actually
dope.
back in the day, like I used to run the venue for a place called the Warehouse. They used to
Mhm.
do rock bands and stuff like that. But that's before I started doing the drum shit.
Mhm.
But I started doing that for a while, and everybody loved that shit. Playing the drums and actually rapping at the same time. It was really nice. There was no music in the
Dude.
background. It was just me in the drum set.
Oh, dude, I would love to see some of that shit sometime because I'm like, you don't see that very often.
No, I actually feel like I was the first person to ever really do that because I looked up videos for a motherfucking while before actually doing it. I seen some people like doing a few songs while playing the drums to them, but nothing like serious like I was doing at the time. And then I was also singing, and I can pretty much do anything vocal wise except for like, emulating accents.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that's something I was thinking about today when I was listening because I listened to a bunch of your music again,
yeah,
and
I
I was like,
appreciate that.
man, yeah, for sure. I still need to dive deeper down the rabbit hole, but I was like, yo, because you're from Georgia, is that where you're from?
Yeah, yeah. I'm from Marietta, Georgia,
Okay,
Stone
cool.
Hospital.
Nice. And I was like, man, you can't even really hear your accent at all. Like you go into this, different voice, actually multiple different voices at times, and then you got that real like a chopper flow, like da 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 da. At times it's like quick.
Yeah, I've always liked the quick flow. Like the first time I ever heard Take Nine, like shit blew my mind. I've always like really loved really good lyrics in any kind of like hip hop. Like even
Mhm.
back in the day growing up, I had to have somebody that had lyrical content that was conscious, that was somewhat, relatable, of course. I mean, anybody kind of relate like floats to the music that they like that they relate to.
Right.
But, I've always liked that, and I've been, a fast writer and getting faster and faster. I've actually had to slow myself down over the years because a lot of people can't keep up with the quick shit.
Uh huh.
So I've actually slowed myself down with all the stuff that I'm making lately. Because by this time, if I kept doing as fast as I could right now, I'd be burning myself out because it gets old after a while.
True that. Yeah, it's good to change it up and, like you say, appeal to a wider audience. You know,
Definitely.
if they want to find that super fast stuff, then you got that too. But then, slowing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's I don't know. Some of your lyrics, I was like checking out your songs, like Agent Smith,
Yeah.
and I was like, Smith, that was funny. Because it makes me think Agent Smith, like the
Yeah.
Matrix or something.
Well,
And
I said Smith because it's I forget what they call it, mammogram
uh
or
huh,
whatever. It stands for smash your motherfucking face. Smash in your fucking face.
nice. Well, I didn't know that. Now I know. I was like, what is
Yeah.
Smith?
Everything in my music has a lot of like subliminal
Entendre.
context. Yeah. Double entendres and so many like subliminal things. I could break down my lyrics to people and it could have multiple meanings for the same sentence structure, and that's the way that I always write my stuff. I like to try to relate to popular culture at the
Hmm.
time because that's why people would even listen to your stuff in the first place, but have so much meaning in it. It sometimes it takes me a week to write a verse because I'm trying to put so much into it. But and sometimes I can write a two verses or three verses in a couple hours. It just really depends on the type of song I'm writing to.
Nice. So, dang. As far as so I noticed on that album too, like you have other producers on that album for the music. I don't know
Yeah.
if you produced any of the music on that
Not not
project.
not that album. That was the first album I decided, I'm gonna get other producers for the songs. There was most of the songs on that entire album came from Kaz, or XX
Oh, is
Music
that
Production.
okay? That's his.
That's his actual production company,
That's his
XX.
branding and everything.
Yeah,
X.
yeah,
Okay. Well, that's cool because you got that X at the beginning and the end of your
yeah,
thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to hit up Kaz sometime and try and do one of these with him.
yeah. Definitely do that.
Um,
I'll send you his.
So
Well, I mean, you got him on Facebook and stuff, probably. So
I'm starting to get a little more connected now. I'm trying.
yeah,
Um, so you produce your own music as well.
yes. I
Okay.
mean, everything we've done for the theme team has either been me producing a beat, him producing one. Some basically, we've been kind of keep the same. I do one, he does one. I do one, he does one. Because it keeps the time frame down. It's so much easier being able to work with somebody else on the same project because we're able to do so much more. It's hard. It's so hard to be able to produce everything on a project when it's just you by yourself. If depending on what you're doing. So the
Yeah.
fact that we're able to, coincide with each other and work out a time schedule where we can, pretty much set a date. We're going to have this product done by this date. Let's knock it out. We do our parts equally come together. We pretty much do 50-50 on everything. So,
Nice. Plus, it's also good to have somebody to like bounce ideas off of and be like, "Hey, is this a good idea or a bad idea?" You need
yeah.
sometimes if you don't have somebody to tell you, "Yo, that one's really good" or "that one's shit," you know,
Yeah.
you
It's
just
always good to have that because it keeps each other in check whenever like we have different ideas, especially in today's realm when it comes to putting content out there.
yeah,
You
for
have to
sure.
be very careful with what you put out there. So you don't want to piss anybody off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's true. And it's like even if you're not, like even if you just bring up a topic or subject, it's like taboo, you
Yeah.
know, kind of gets people buzzing and it gets them all stirred up.
Yeah.
So, well, that's what's dope about your guys' podcast, though, is, I check out the theme team, and I actually need to check out more because I was like, dude, I didn't must not have hit the bell, the notification bell or something, because I was like, I didn't notice all these other releases that there were so many more.
Well, we were doing one a week for a while.
Oh,
I think
nice.
we did it for about 6 months or so.
Hmm.
And then because we started doing the podcast, we had to slow it down a little bit because of just figuring everything out. We've gone down to bi-weekly now that we're going to release something. Like our next release is going to be next week on Thursday. We generally release on Thursdays at midnight,
Oh,
so that way it's set up for the weekend. Anybody watching that stuff, and we do our podcast, of course, Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. So
and that goes out to like all these different sites, right?
yeah, we go out to we go out pretty much to three or four different Facebooks. We go to two different YouTube channels, the Theme Team Remix and the Real Ones Podcast. Or it's Real Ones Podcast,
Mm.
spelled REEL. And then we also go out to our Twitter page, Twitch. Um, then we're on this company called Buzzsprout, and it sends us out to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anything that you have to do with podcasting itself. So we got the visual for YouTube, and then we have the audio for Spotify and stuff like that.
Dude, that is super dope. That is legit. Cause it live streamed onto like Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cause
you
then
can actually
people.
comment and
So a lot of those comments that I would see coming in on the restream, they were coming from like Facebook or
yeah, they can
possibly
actually come
anywhere.
from they come from any of the ones that we're doing on Restream at the time, which is the Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And all of those can actually comment at one time. It tells us which one they're coming from, so
Dude,
we can
that's
decipher.
so rad.
Yeah, it's a really good company. So I'm
Cause
definitely
if
behind
people.
Restream. Get that shit.
Yeah, cause then the people that are like, I only like am on Facebook. I don't do all this other stuff. Then they can just check it there.
Exactly. Like, and whenever you're doing a podcast, if it's everywhere at one time, it gets so much more attention. It's surprising to me because I'm the one that kind of like does the producing of the show. I
Hmm.
figured out how to do the restream, and like I was doing YouTube, or not YouTube, but I was doing Zoom like we're doing now with OBS, and it has a lot of badass functions that you can use through OBS. So what I'm using right now is a laptop, because of everything that you need to do with OBS, and I was trying to hook up my 50 or my M50 Canon
Mhm.
mirrorless camera, and trying to do that, and all the audio connections you got to use, you actually got to buy like an internet digital audio cable and then hook it up that way and do the audio so many different other ways. I was like, man, that's so much of a pain in the ass. And then when I fucking got in the restream, quick and easy. You hit a button, it sets everybody up. You download your pictures, videos, and everything. Bam, there it is. So much easier.
Yeah, I'm gonna be definitely looking into it more because I might just continue doing these little one-on-one chats. But I like what you guys got going on with the show and how you talk about some topics and everything like that. Like you say, pop culture and staying tuned in with what's happening now.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's
you
and
guys.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it seems like something that people would like. I don't know if people can like tip and stuff or like a Patreon type thing.
Yeah, whenever you're going through YouTube, you can
Mhm.
actually do the super chats.
Mhm.
You can like donate $5 or whatever and make a comment, and then it posts a really big comment, so it's a lot easier to see. So if we're getting a bunch of comments and stuff, and you want to make sure that your comments are read, or just donate $1 or whatever to the show, you can always do that through YouTube, through PayPal. So
Dude, that's rad. Yeah, cause I mean, as we move into this digital age now, I'm like, dude, this is just gonna be so much of our lives. I hear about virtual performances and everything now. Where
oh yeah, like bro, like I know you were talking about earlier, or even on the show that we were doing on our show, the fact that you're wanting to do, talk about conspiracies and stuff like that. Bro, we can talk about conspiracies all day long. Like that shit is my shit. Like,
dude, hell yeah. Um, well, I mean, we can definitely go down that rabbit hole. I mean, before we go totally down that, I guess, one of the first things that I noticed about you that kind of stood out to me for sure, and I don't even know if you want to talk about this much, but was that you were involved in part of the Freemason.
yeah.
So, like a lodge in your area.
Well, it's not actually in my area. It's actually a little bit further down south in Georgia. But yes, I am a Freemason.
Dude,
I
that's
probably won't
rad.
I probably won't talk too much about it, but yes, I am a part of a lodge, Lodge 578 of Conyers.
So, how do you like get involved in something like that? Because it's something I've always been curious. You see the symbolism, and I like read into things on the internet, or listen to audiobooks.
Yeah,
And like I say, you can find so much information out there and different
I mean,
opinions, but I'm like, I'd like to hear it from, the sources itself.
I'll tell you a little bit about it because a lot of people do have questions on Freemasonry, and a lot of people have really crazy speculations when it comes to that because you see the YouTube videos. I know you have. If you've gone
Oh
through
yeah, for
any kind of
sure.
conspiracy theory videos, you'll see all kinds of crazy shit talked about Freemasonries and
Hmm.
Freemasons themselves. Basically, Freemasonry is basically a tool to make a good man better. And it's more or less centralized around Christianity. And we talk a lot about God and, and
Yeah,
trying to better the community and everything around us. We do a lot of stuff in our community. We do a lot of volunteering, you know, um, like right now we're about to donate, turkeys to a lot of needy families for
nice.
Thanksgiving. We do toy drives and everything every Christmas. We do a lot of different things for people. And it's crazy about the stuff that you hear about what's going on YouTube, stuff like that. I wouldn't listen to that shit. It's not like what you think it is. Everybody thinks a certain way because they don't know about it because it's
Right, and then
secretive.
they'll speculate, and then
Exactly.
their imagination goes crazy. And if they
Yeah.
don't, most people, if they don't know about something, they don't like it. or something, you know.
Yeah. They're
Um,
scared of what they don't know. You
yeah,
know, they're
for sure.
scared of
But
what
that's
they
what I found interest in Freemasonry was I was like the teachings and the things that you could learn.
I will say, the knowledge of Freemasonry, I feel should be taught more openly and free. There's nothing real secret when it really comes to Freemasonry. The biggest secrets
Oh,
are,
that's what they'd be like. Oh, it's a secret society or something,
yeah,
right?
we're not a secret society, first of all. We're a society of secrets, I will say.
Ah,
That makes a distinction.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
And the biggest thing in it, that to be it, a Freemasonry and the secrets that you learn, it's more passwords, handshakes, different stories that come along with the different degrees you become, because it's almost like military based. It's got a structure that you go
You
through.
can like kind of ascend and, well, just like
Yes.
high school or anything or any schooling, like after you learn this, you'll start to understand this and that, and
Yeah.
or
And
you'll
it's got
be
a really,
ready to like learn more.
yeah. And to become a Freemason, you just, to be one, you ask one. You ask a Freemason if you are really wanting to be one. You do your little bit, information, look up on what you think it is and try to figure it out. And you basically fill out an application. They have a set of people that actually interview you, and you'll go through a process of an interview. They'll check out your social media. They'll do an actual investigation on you. And once you're done with the process, if everybody, you'll go through a vote, and everybody will vote whether or not they feel like you are somebody that can bring something to the table, and
Huh, that's interesting.
kind of go from there.
So, like, so if there's somebody like me that was interested in becoming like, I'd be able to ask a guy like you virtually, or I got to meet somebody in real life that's like, you
It
know,
would be better to meet somebody in real life, because if you were to ask me and I'm basically to put my name on you, because if I get you an application and bring you in, I'm responsible for anything that you do.
right,
So if you're the type of person to kind of like just come in, and I barely know you, and I think of a certain way of you, and then you turn out being a certain other way,
right, which there's
that's
probably
going
a
to
lot of
negatively
that.
affect
There's
me.
definitely a lot of that in the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, in any aspect of the world that you see. But I would want to know you personally, and I would kind of test you before. I don't like letting people really know, that I'm a Freemason. I don't throw it in people's face. I don't wear jewelry. I don't wear t-shirts and stuff like that. Only when I'm going to meetings, and I've got an emblem on my car, but it's kind of small and in the corner, and only a Freemason kind of seeing it would know that I'm a Freemason.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of the things that I've noticed through my life. You know, I would see some people, maybe I've met people like in the hip hop realm that would have a ring, and
yeah,
I would be like, is that yours? Or sometimes I'd be like, is that like your family's that you're rocking it? Or
yeah,
I would see, have different family friends and whatnot have, different, shadow boxes and stuff on their wall that would have, emblems and all this and that. And I'd see it, on the buildings
yeah.
and
They're actually everywhere. You'd be surprised how many people are what we call brothers in the
well, and that's the
society.
thing because it's all over. Like that's,
Oh, it's international. They're everywhere. Like,
well, and
I can
that's
go
what.
anywhere in the world and find a lodge, and go talk to a brother and meet up with some friends. And that's the biggest thing about Freemasonry, is that it's a brotherhood.
Hmm.
And I'm not just saying that because it's mainly males. For the longest time, it was only allowed to be males, but there are different sects now that it's actually only females. So they have female Masons out in, I believe it's California, and there's, I believe, a sect out in Europe now. There's there's lodges everywhere. There's multiple lodges in every single state in the country, and every other country. There's very few countries that don't have a Masonic lodge. and it's the ones that are pretty much religious against the Freemason community.
Um,
There's a lot of
well, and
that.
that's I guess what's always struck why I found so much interested in it as well is just like the history of just like who we are as a people in our society. Because I'm like, man, so much of
Yeah.
what I would think of our society was established by Freemasons. Like
Actually, a lot of it was. I mean, 11 of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were actual Freemasons. A lot of our architecture is based off of Freemason. Okay, so originally, what a Freemason was an actual mason, was a brick mason.
right,
And the math that they learned, they used to learn different handshakes while being Freemasons. That way, you would know a real Freemason from somebody who's just trying to get a job or something. And Freemasons were given passes to be able to pass, like almost like a general passport, where they could go anywhere and almost be treated like royalty because of what they knew and what they could do. So
well, I would say, well, sorry to interrupt.
no, you're good. Go
I
ahead.
would say that since I've known you, which I've been getting to know you better since we could like talk virtually and
Yeah,
everything. But that's probably one of the things I've noticed about you is that you were like really respectful
I try to be the most I
and
can.
yeah, and like honest and stuff like that from my experiences with you in life so far where you know and that's like I say like or you say like oh make a good man better and you know there's just a lot of lessons to learn in life and it's all about becoming a better person.
Definitely,
Well, I'm gonna
definitely.
look into it some more. I definitely am interested, and it's cool to know somebody that actually, because you're probably one of the only guys I've known that has gotten involved. And I would see you like a picture. I just seen that few that you had on Facebook that was like, oh wow,
Yeah,
he's you know, it looks really formal, and you know, so it's whenever people make those changes to be like, hey, I'm gonna clean up and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Well, I was in the military. So once I was in the military, I kind of got more formal because of that.
Oh, so
And
what were you in
I was in
military?
the Army.
How was that?
I liked it. Um, I wish I would have made it a career, to be completely honest. I love the military when I was in. I went through a basic training, then I went through AIT, then I did a 4-year contract with them at the time.
Mhm.
Because when I joined, it was in wartime. It was right after 9/11 and all that. Well, not right after 9/11. It was probably I think it was 2007 when I got in.
Mhm.
So it was a few years
Oh
after, but it was
yeah.
still considered wartime.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't we just pull out just this last year? Like all the
Yeah.
troops
Well,
coming back.
we tried.
Yeah. It's
We
got to be a
did
mess
we
out
did
there trying to take care of the
we did
world
something.
nowadays.
Oh yeah. Like, oh bro, like what's about to happen in the world? I don't know if we want to talk about
Well, you
that.
mean conspiracy theories?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's a theory anymore, bro. Like
Mhm.
a lot of the shit that I've researched over the years has completely came true and it's still coming true. And the fact that more people don't know about it. And I think there's a lot more people out there that do know about it because of the fact that about 10 years ago on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, there was a lot more people out there talking about these
Well,
conspiracy
they've been
theories.
censoring it for
Exactly.
sure, and
And then they're controlling people's thoughts by telling you, like, oh, well, Nancy Ray over here said this, and this is what everybody believes.
oh, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely propaganda for sure of
Edward Bernays, baby.
yeah, and that's what's amazing about media and how it really can influence, people and, you know,
Well, the media got bought out, and this is where the power structure lies. The media was actually put out there, and there were laws passed within the media to assure that the media was going to be the structure that was going to check government, basically, or businesses that ever became government. Because at this point, when you got politicians who make a certain amount of money every year, which is to 400. I think it's $400,000 for president
Hmm.
every year, and you got companies making millions to billions of dollars every year. It ain't nothing to break some bread off and be like, "Yo, bitch, you gonna do this? Put this in your
True that.
policies, and we'll break you this off, or we won't kill your family. How about that?"
Yeah, like, I mean, you definitely know with power comes corruption, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
and
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
yeah,
Um,
and yeah, dude, it's pretty insane. I also see nowadays that have you heard of the Facebook Meta thing going on?
yeah, their umbrella company is changing their name because they're
And
thinking about the future.
so I, have just like last night started looking into the trailers of what Meta is. Have you seen much about it yet?
Like the actual company itself or the general term meta.
What he's trying to do with their company Meta
Oh,
now.
I know he basically wants to, he's looking about 10 years into the future. He's wanting to put holograms. Basically, he's going to start making his own phone plan. He wants to try to start doing his own internet and put every company into one umbrella of a company. And I don't know why he's calling it meta because it's kind of corny nowadays considering what kids call meta. Like it's just it's
Why? What do kids call
that's
Meta?
so that's so meta, that fucking term they're using out there. And to me,
Oh
it's so
yeah.
meta. Like, oh my god, like Tyler.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's slang now.
Yeah, shit's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I heard him saying it was something about maybe like an old Greek god, uh or the word meant like beyond or something.
Okay.
But what I guess interested me was it basically looks like they're trying to move us into Ready Player One, where it's like, yeah, put on this headset, now you're on Facebook, but you can actually like virtually interact with avatars and virtual rooms, and I'm like, holy shit, this is getting.
Oh, it's gonna get crazy because the way that I see it, and this is one of the conspiracies that I felt that is playing out right now. Because the biggest problem that we have in this country right now or in the world is overpopulation.
Oh,
In
I seen
fact,
you at the Georgia Guidestones too.
yeah.
That was sweet.
Oh, actually, we're doing a music video that I was mixing the music for today.
Oh,
That
dope.
I'm doing a video. Luckily, we went up to the Georgia Guidestones, me and my homeboy, and then I got him to do cameraman for me.
Mhm.
So we went up there, and there was like 30 or 40 people there, just completely slammed. We were
Mm.
there for about an hour, and we just sat back in the car. We kind of chilled out for a little bit, and then almost everybody left, and then everybody left. And I said, "Get the fucking camera, let's go." And
Nice.
we ran out there, and we got about good 10 minutes worth of footage of me doing my verse for the music video. So we actually got Georgia's Guidestone music video part in it. So it's gonna
Oh,
be cool.
sick. Is it a theme team one or is it
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Bud?
theme team.
Okay.
It's gonna be for excuse me. Song before. Oh, actually, no, it's one of Kaz's joints.
Nice.
God damn, I need to quit smoking these fucking vapes, man. Can't help it.
Ah,
But
man. It's.
it's a song about World War III, actually,
Oh, which we're pretty much,
on the brink of.
yeah, for sure. I wonder. Well, I'm looking forward to this song. So, what you were talking about overpopulation, speaking of World War Three.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the overpopulation issue is a big problem. Now, if you're starting to look into robotics, anybody watch the Terminator movies, you kind of figure, sci-fi comes from somewhere. People have thought of these ideas. If you've thought of it, somebody's making money off of it at some point. I guarantee you that shit. So cybernetics, if you're looking what's coming out of Boston Cybernetics and all these other cybernetic companies, they are going to be replacing most of us very soon. Like
Oh, and
they've
our
got trucks.
jobs?
Yes,
Yeah.
like they're gonna. And to me, if I was rich and powerful and I knew all these people were going to be the end of me, they were polluting everything. They don't have any self control. They don't know how to fucking take care of themselves. No wonder rich people feel the way that they do because, like, oh, I've made this money, I've done this, I've been responsible, I've made all this fucking money, and now I have this power. Now you motherfuckers are gonna fuck it up because you can't wipe your asses properly, and all these other issues of the world that we can just continue to list off. So y'all need to go. And now we got these robots because we've come so far into technology. We can make a fucking burger flipper, flip our burgers, make the shit, put it out, bam, it's done. Trucks drive themselves. Pretty much anything in the world work itself.
They be making
They're,
sex bots.
oh yeah, bro. Like, so me and my
And
girlfriend will have one just for the hell of it.
just for that, every Friday night, no.
Yeah.
Uh,
You never know.
yeah, man. And dude, it is crazy. It fascinates me. I'm totally fascinated because even with the internet, where okay, the robots taking over our jobs, and not only like those ones, but I'll see things too where, oh yeah, they're creating art too, and they're making music. Like I
Mhm.
seen, they would take like they made like a new Kurt Cobain song or
Yeah.
something. Just like the robot went through and like studied all the music and then just recreated it. I'm like, dude, oh, shit.
They've got technology that can actually generate ideas now because I mean they've had in certain places you can go to get tattoos from robots. You can
What?
pick an image. Yeah, they've
Oh,
got
I bet
these
they do a
where
great
you.
job.
Oh yeah, they're perfect. I
Yeah.
mean, but they have no. At first, they didn't have any kind of imagery or creativity that they create, through a human mind. But now they've got an actual AI that can create from different themes that you could give it, and it can generate its own art. And people get, tattoos and stuff generated off those ideas. So like if you don't know what you want as a tattoo, you're like, hey man, I like karate and fucking Kurt Cobain and meth pipes. And then it'll fucking create something with a meth pipe and Kurt Cobain blowing his head off with a, I don't know.
No, yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, as AI grows, dude, I just
Yes.
watched that movie Free Guy. Have you seen that one yet?
I haven't seen that, but I want to see it.
Yeah, it was good, and it was based off of that type of ideology, the AI,
Okay.
um, in a video game.
I had Ryan Reynolds in it, didn't
Yep, where
it?
basically the NPC realizes that it's just only exists in this video game, and it starts to like run off of its default programming and just does whatever it wants.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. With these new movies coming out, what's your guys' new theme song? Is it that one you're?
Yeah, the Venom we're dropping in the World War III. Well, I don't know if I actually said that. Yeah, we're dropping a music video for Venom World War III. This upcoming Thursday, we're going to be dropping the Eternals remix that Kaz did
Oh,
for the new Eternal
is that
Eternal.
out now?
No, it comes out on the 5th, I believe. When I looked it up, it said November 5th.
Angelina
So
Jolie, right? Is she in
I
that one?
didn't know. I haven't looked up the
Hmm.
cast or crew or anything. Kaz has been doing that one, so he knows more of the information on it. I don't know if he's going to be talking about that because I know Monday our controversy corner or whatever is going to be about the parents being called domestic terrorists, and then
That's pretty
Thursday we're going to be
interesting.
talking about critical race theory. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
so,
another change happening in the schools.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Critical
Well,
race
it's
theory.
been happening, and it's crazy subject. So we're going to talk
It's
about those.
nice. I'll tune in for sure.
Hell yeah, appreciate
Yeah,
you.
yeah, man. I'm trying to tap in and do this podcasting now and get used to it.
Yeah, I
You know.
because I see you be doing the Crossroads podcast and all the stuff you got going on. You got a bunch of shit going on yourself, sir.
Yeah, just try to be creative and some things take off more than others. Like I'm sure where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, people really like some things and not so many people like other things. But being creative, that's what it's all about. One day it'd
yeah,
be cool to you and I to actually collaborate. We've collaborated in some ways so far, but
Yeah,
never
we definitely
really.
do a song or something soon.
Yeah, I am gonna do some like. Eventually, I want to, cause I'll make a bunch of beats and make those available for people. But I want to start finding different homies and just have them like rap on some of my beats and then put together like a cipher
Okay.
project. And I'm gonna try and get better about building these Spotify playlists and stuff like that. So that I could just tap in with more people and hopefully one day connect in the real
Yeah.
world. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to connect on like I'm not really the internet type of social media person.
Mhm.
Kaz is more the person that kind of handles more of connecting with people for the most part and promotion. Like I throw him some money and then we put a promo out, but he pretty much handles that.
Nice. Well, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, I suck at doing promo, mainly because like my normal job throughout the day, I work on hydraulic cylinders and stuff for like heavy equipment. So
How's
throughout,
that, bro?
it's it's a hell of a job. I mean, it's good money. It's definitely a lot of physical labor. So I'm tired
Right.
constantly from that. And then when I'm doing that, I'm not just doing my job as doing the labor for that. I'm dealing with the customers, writing up tickets, calling customers because I deal with pretty much everything like
Hydraulic pumps or hydraulic
uh,
cylinders.
cylinders. We do take in hydraulic pumps and hydraulic
So,
valves. We do hoses, shit like that. Anything for like excavators, backhoes, bulldozers,
so
scrapers.
big, heavy machinery.
Yeah, big boy
Dude,
toys.
that's gnarly.
Yeah.
That's rad though, man.
So I can't like get on the internet and do anything.
Oh, true that.
Kaz has more like a sit down office type job. So a
Mhm.
lot of the times he's able to get more on the internet and do things from, what he's doing. So he's able to like post something or promote something every once in a while. And because I work a physical job, by the time I get home and then I start mixing and mastering or I'm fucking making a beat or something like that, like I do, last thing I want to do is get on fucking social media.
Oh yeah, true that. Social media is just a mess anyways. Kind of
Man,
messes. It can mess with your head and it's
definitely.
just,
If you let it, there's so much negativity out there.
for sure.
It sucks sometimes, but
Well, so
if I
what do
could do this,
you
go ahead.
Wait,
Sorry.
what? If you could do this?
If I could do this for a living, like doing the podcast and music for a living, I'd be on it all the time. Of course, I'd be making content. Hell, I'd be doing, Facebook live videos every 2 seconds and shit like that. But until I'm able to do that, which if we keep going the way that we're doing right now, it'll snowball to the point where we have the position of getting advertisement, sponsors and stuff like that for our podcast or
Yeah.
doing enough because we do music videos for other people. We can
Oh, you
shoot,
do?
edit. Yeah, we do pretty much anything for a production company because we are a production company in general. Like we do mixing and
As
mastering for people. We record, um, do
with
the whole
the
process.
with the name.
The theme team remix.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
that's basically our actual company
Okay.
subsidiary name, and then the Real Ones podcast is just like a side subsidiary of that. And then
Right.
we'll do video editing and everything through the theme team remix name. And
So people can hit you guys up for
yes,
audio and video
yes,
editing and production stuff.
yep.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a on site if it's out of state or anything. Of course, you pay for our
Travel
flights
costs.
out there, exactly all that stuff, and the time that we're out there. If it's in Georgia, we'll definitely cut you a deal for that. It's a lot easier, especially if it's better within driving conditions. We can bring our
Mhm.
stuff out to a set place that you can set up if you want. If we need to set it up, it'll be more money, of course. Because the more things that we do, it'll be more money. But of course, we work with people. We do a general, I say about 20 $25 an hour cost, or we can do a bulk
Nice.
cost for whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing a music video, we do three different setups for a certain cost. You just have to hit us up and explain your idea and how easy it's going to be or how more difficult it's going to be.
I didn't even realize you guys did that for other people.
Yeah,
Provide that service.
we've started providing it. We've actually got a couple people we're going to do a commercial for, and
Nice.
then yeah, I mean it. Any kind of work that we can get out in this type of field that we do, and we do it every day, and it's stuff that we love, so we might as well try to make money off of it. If you're good at it, make money on it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and especially living in this digital age, more and more people are just going to be producing more music and videos. So I guess that's what I was going to ask was what your goals are, if you have any.
Generally, I would like to do the podcast. You
Mhm.
know, get it to a point where we're almost doing it every day, like almost our own kind of like news station. But
Mhm.
like we can either go with real events or events that we take that are real events but kind of make it up, almost like we call it fake news or
Nice.
whatever. Just generally whatever our audience is going to be. We're kind of guide ourselves to. If people like the fact that we're almost like a movie review, because
Mhm.
that's generally what we are right now. We do movie reviews. We talk about, and not even movies that have already come out, but the movies that are coming up, and then we
Mhm.
talk about our remixes for them, stuff like that.
Well, it goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, but I would like to direct, music videos. I would actually love to get into directing movies. Like I love making film, and it's been like a
Dude.
secret passion. I just never was able to get into it because I've always been poor.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
If you get the investors, possibly one day,
yeah,
as well. But build it slowly, and it takes time. Dude, I look
definitely.
forward to it because it sounds like, with Silent Hill and, video games and the movies, is that the kind of movies you would make? Or do you have any idea?
I would probably make horror films just because that's generally what I float to when
Like
it
what
comes
kind?
to
Like
entertainment.
blood and gore, psychological?
More psychological because I mean, blood and gore can be fun, but like I like it's hard to really tell what I like depending on what I'm watching. Like I love The Thing from Wes Craven,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that was Wes Craven.
I'll
Can't
have
think
to
off the top
check
of
it.
my head. Yeah, I think it's Wes Craven.
But
But
the thing was like a monster, right?
it's actually like an alien. They came from space and
Oh,
landed in
really?
Antarctica. Yeah. And they're doing some science experiments out there. I guess not even really science experiments. They're just trying to find alien remnants of what they believe to be an alien craft crashed. So they found the body of what they believe to be an alien. So they bring in basically a giant ice cube into where they've got everything set up. They end up it ends up busting out and taking the shape and form of other people. But the
Oh.
transformation between like it's emulating another human being or a dog or something like that, the way
Mm-hmm.
that they did the realistic you know the effects, that shit was amazing for its time, and it's still one of the best like visual effects movies in my mind.
Did they
In my
actually create physical?
Yes, they did real time actual physical. They did barely any CG. There's like one real
I
scene
love
that I
that
get to
shit.
use for CG, but they mixed it with the real shit, so it looks so fucking real. It's still like better than shit that I see nowadays.
Dude.
Like
Yeah,
it's
nowadays
insane.
it's like all green screen and CGI.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
I
Like
know. It's.
Like
I
the
love the
physical
old stuff.
limitations of real life, though, to try to portray certain things, I can understand. But if they can make it happen, I know it costs a little bit more money, but fucking make it happen. So much better of a payoff, especially visual wise.
Damn, yeah. So I'm interested to see what you come up with. You got things in mind? Like any ideas you've had brewing for years or something? You don't have
I
to reveal them
actually,
really, but
yeah, actually, I will talk about one that I've had. It's well, it started out as an idea that came from a book that I wanted to write.
mm,
And I never started the book, but then I was like, well, I would rather actually interpret it into a visual aspect. So I would probably do a video.
hmm
So I started writing a screenplay in my head. And the way that it's set up, it's like it's almost like a Blair Witch type thing because I always like the aspect of doing like the personal camera type thing,
And
but
it's
maybe
also a less a budget.
exactly, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing right there. You're saving a shitload of money. I
Yeah, for
just got to
sure.
find the right actors to get into it and play the parts.
Hmm.
But basically, it's about a group of people and group of friends. They come together, they do some shit, and then they go out into the woods. And I thought that was just crazy because it kind of took the same imagery that I had in this series on Netflix called Dark. Like I thought of this idea way before, like this is 15 years ago that I thought of this idea. So they're walking through the woods coming back from a party or whatever, and they're just chilling. They hear some noise out in the fucking woods. They're checking it out. They look over and they see a tree, and in the tree it's got just a huge ass hole that looks like it goes down to the fucking pit of nothingness.
Hmm.
So they go over and they keep hearing the sound of them. One of them, leans over real far and looks down, and these two red eyes slowly start getting brighter, and then he sees them, and when he fucking sees them, it just like sends this piercing fucking shit through him to makes him freeze up and he can't move, and he just keeps staring at the eyes, and it seems like they're getting closer, and it just like freaks out. Cuts to another person, you know they're looking over here and what the fuck's wrong with him, and you go over, they don't see it, and they try to get him out of it. He fucking freaks out after he comes out of his little coma state.
Hmm.
Later that night, he fucking goes to sleep, freaking the fuck out, has nightmares and shit like that, wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's looking, and as he like he's rolling out of bed and kind of coming to, his door starts slowly creeping open, and he starts hearing fucking noises and shit coming out of the room or out of the hallway or whatever. And then every night it gets slowly progressively worse, almost like some paranormal activity shit,
Right.
where he starts seeing these red eyes in different parts, and it fucking starts getting closer to him. Like the first time he sees them, once it opens, like he can see down the hallway into almost like a living room area, and like in the
Mm.
middle of a bookcase he sees the eyes, and he's like, what the fuck? But every time he wakes up with fucking like scars and shit, because he tries to make it
Ah.
through the night, but he ends up passing out because
Right.
sleep deprivation. But he'll wake up and shit, fucking scars, and gets cut up on the face and shit. But every night it continuously gets worse, and by like the end of the week, it gets so bad to where it's like he'll fucking open his eyes, and just the fucking cringe factor of just sitting in bed looking and not knowing how what the fuck this thing is, where it's gonna come from, it fucking appears right in his fucking face and kills him. And like just the visual
Gnarly.
aspect of them fucking eyes was just so fucking creepy to me that it
Dude,
I always wanted to represent that visual aspect.
that is so. Oh man, there's just something about you could take something simple like that,
Yeah,
you know, and just the way you could put it together. I don't know, man. It can be quite haunting.
definitely.
Uh, well, you got some plans for Halloween at all? Speaking of haunting, you've been feeling any vibes?
I mean, I always feel vibes around this time. Everybody's got that Halloween spirit. I wish it was like it was back in the day when I was a kid, when like everybody went trick or treating, and you could ride around and see fucking just tons of kids in
Ah,
costumes.
it was a different time for sure.
Man,
I miss it.
I really do too. It's bad nowadays. Like, and even if you can go trick or treating this year with COVID-19, I don't know how last year was because I don't have kids, so I don't know how most people can even deal with that in this time.
Oh
So,
yeah, I got kids, and it's
word up to
definitely
you, bro.
not like it ain't like it used to be.
Yeah, word
You
up to
know.
you for being a dad in this day and
Oh,
age, bro.
yeah, thanks, man. It's I don't know. I guess that's life, And
Hey, when you do fun things, shit happens.
exactly. It eventually it happened, you know. And yeah, it's cool, but like you say, you gotta. It totally changes the way you look at life, and that's like you say. And that's when the conspiracy theories start to kind of mess with your head, where you're like, you know, just the world, the safety in the world with the internet, and just in real life, and with COVID-19 going around,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
this
and
was like a predicted thing. That's what most people don't realize about this.
COVID.
Most of the yeah.
Yeah, that's
First of
what I
all,
always thought. I was like, oh man,
man.
you know
First of
me,
all,
I'll be like down the conspiracies for years, and then I'm like, oh, now it's happening.
yeah. Well, I mean, these conspiracies have been happening for hundreds of years, not just in the last few little while that we've had YouTube and people started reading books and
It was
shit and
probably
actually taking
planned
on
hundreds of
paper.
years ago.
Oh yes, it was. I mean, hell, the prophecy of what is happening right now actually happened in the Bible. Like, not to be like fucking throwing the Bible in anybody's face. Like, I like the Bible because it does have certain histories that have been proven,
Oh, for
and
sure.
the idea of what's going on in the Bible plays into politics. Like the Bible explains more than most people ever talk about. Like they talk about Jesus in church and shit, but they don't talk about how the Bible, basically created the senses. Like how we as a society created the senses, how we created the money aspect of the world, how government came into place and judges and police, and it tells a really good story. It's very, very analytical. So you got to fucking read it with with the dictionary next to you, because most of
Right.
the shit you're not gonna know or interpret the correct way. So you'll have to like sometimes even put a whole sentence from the Bible in there, and then you're gonna get different interpretations. Because one thing that most people need to understand and realize that all information is either secondary or more.
Hmm.
You, even if you see something with your own eyes, does not mean that you are going to interpret it the way that it was meant to be interpreted. So
True.
you're always going to have your opinion latched to whatever you're doing, and most people make the mistake whenever they're trying to research a topic is they have a certain bias but towards a certain opinion. So whenever they're researching something, they'll want whatever they can find to fit their narrative.
Right. And
And
that's another
that,
thing about the conspiracies.
yes. And think the biggest thing about conspiracy, I hate the fact that they started using this rhetoric and took the word conspiracy and flipped it around, because they
Right.
started saying conspiracy theory. And then like, oh, if you think of that shit, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're crazy. First of all, the definition of the word conspiracy means two or more people planning to commit a crime. And if you don't think that that's about to happen or has happened or is happening right in your motherfucking face every day, you are crazy as shit.
Oh, true that. All over the internet, in in secret, be like, no internet. This is all
Yeah.
just in this room, quiet, no phones.
Yep. Like,
Two people, could be just two people. You know,
yeah, two or
uh,
more people planning to commit
Bonnie
a
and
crime.
Clyde. No,
Yeah. And you
no.
think like, and they'll say like, well, if there's really conspiracies going on in our government or whatever, there's got to be so many people involved. Well, that's when you got to understand how jobs work and compartmentalization.
Hmm.
Okay, in a job, if you're working at a low tier level on a job, no matter where you're at, what do you know about what's going on in that company? Do you know what the fucking president and the CEO and all them are talking about? No,
Probably
you don't
not.
know shit. You just do whatever your job is.
You stock
You're
the
designated.
shelves or
Exactly.
clean the
That's your
toilet.
job.
You know.
You don't know what the boxer does unless he decides to tell you after work and shit like that. But a lot of the times you're not messing with fucking secret knowledge that if you tell somebody, your fucking family and everybody else in your fucking life will just be destroyed.
Right.
So you got all these fucking jobs. Like my grandfather was the first laser technician in the fucking world. He worked
What?
for the Air Force. Yes. He was also a Freemason. And he was a 32nd degree that I know of. He's probably a 33rd degree, but I didn't
Dude,
find
that
out this until
props.
after I
That's
became one.
rad.
Yeah. But he was smart as shit. And he was a fucking laser technician. So he started doing jobs for the military and Lockheed and Dobbins, where I live here in Georgia. What he did, who knows? It was he had a higher than top. I had a top secret security clearance in the military because I
Hmm.
did communication ComSec repair. Just because I took the ASVAB, like I went in and I wanted to fight. I was like, fuck it, I want to be in the inventory. It was after 9/11. I was like, yeah, fucking America, fuck yeah, America.
Fuck
So
yeah.
Yeah. So I joined with the aspect of, patriotism and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the ASVAB and they were like, I wanted to be infantry. They said, yeah, you can't be infantry. You're too smart for that. You have a brain. You need to use that shit. So they gave me like two different fucking, and that's what they needed at the time. I didn't realize that I could actually push for what I really wanted to. Like I could just tell them, go fuck yourself. But I
Right.
tried searching for a job for like 9 months, couldn't find a job, and I was kind of forced to go to the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any legal job experience.
Oh, right.
So you gotta love that shit. No, we don't want to hire you because you don't have any job experience. Why the
I
fuck
know.
I
It's
want
like,
that
how
shit
do you get
experience?
experience? Yeah.
Like you fucking dickbags. Is
Dude,
that your
for sure.
excuse because you don't like me?
Yeah. The tattoos. Look at all those tattoos.
Yeah,
You do
I
got
will
a
say
bunch.
I started when I was 16, so I can understand when people just look at the outside appearance and yeah. But I've always been way more put together than most people that I've worked with, and always at the top of my class when it comes to school. Um, I had A's and B's throughout school, and then when I got into high school and started getting jumped and bullied and shit like that, and then I started smoking weed, yeah, I stopped giving a fuck.
Well, yeah, you start
So
rebelling.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was poor, so I could never go to like the extracurricular activities. Like all I ever wanted to do when I was a kid was be in chess club. Like I
Oh,
fucking
really?
love chess. Yeah, like I still want to do
Chess
like
is
a
a hell of a
shove.
game.
Yeah, it really is, man. And it's really fucking epic if you're playing a game. Like if you're watching a game and you don't know how to play chess, it's just like that's boring as shit. But if you're watching like two people who really know how to play chess, like go at it and you know how to play, that shit is fucking epic to watch.
Dude, I've never played the like 3D chess.
Yeah. Oh, I
I've
love that
never
shit.
I've never done it, but yeah, chess, man. That's what's funny about, a lot of times in cities and stuff when they have the chess set up. And I guess that's one of the things that, I always think of like Freemasonry and the checker
Oh yeah.
tile. I can't ever not think of it if Vans
Ev-
shoes or
Everything that you see is has a lot of symbolism that comes from masonry or is used by masonry. The
Mhm.
chessboard itself is used in a lot of allegories when it comes to masonry. When we walk through life, it's a checkered path. It's a path of light and dark because that's what life is. It's choices that you have. You either have a light path, a good path, and sometimes you can't even consider it a bad path or an evil path because life makes you do things sometimes that are in a gray area that aren't
right.
necessarily good or evil. They're kind of a neutral, but that's what it is. And then when it comes down to the chess pieces, all of that is allegorical too. The king and the queen and the pawns, knights, the rook, and the bishops. Each character represents a certain rank, as you will, and that's how society works. And
Right.
if you can use chess to really think of real world wartime tactics.
And the moves
And
you make and how
yes,
you make
and
them.
how to get around people, how to fucking read people. And it is a fucking amazing game, really, when you get down to it. I sound like a fucking geek,
No,
but
but like you say, with the allegory of it, if you apply it to life as well,
yeah,
and
definitely.
if you strategize, just like anything with a business or like with your theme team stuff or your music or putting on an event or whatever, if you make the right moves, that's what the rap game, I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, because I'd come from the rock world as well, or acoustic stuff, but the rap game was literally a game. And it's like, yo, the moves you make, the people you connect with, how you conduct yourself, you know, because I've definitely at times made the wrong, or, I don't know if it would be the right or wrong move, but if I could go back, I'd be like, well, maybe I would have done things a little different, but now I know, you
Yeah.
know, and
It is really who you know too. I mean, when it comes down to it, because you could be the best artist in the world, because there's been many artists that have been probably some of the best that would have ever been. We don't know their names because they didn't get put in the spotlight because they didn't know the right people.
Yeah, they could be just in their basement forever, creating amazing music, and then there's like could be just like somebody who's not even that talented or dedicated that much, but they know somebody at Universal Music Group or
Yeah,
something, and you know do
little
them a
punk.
favor. Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Dude, I've heard those conspiracies as well
Mm.
about the industry of like, oh, this is how these people,
I mean, there is a
make their
game,
ways.
but it's all politics, and that's why like when people try to believe in politics when it comes down to the two-party system, which is a complete horseshit system. It was created and developed to give you the illusion of freedom and choice, to keep
Yeah,
the poor and middle class bickering amongst themselves while the rich rule the world. To be completely honest, and
yeah.
it's a beautiful setup. To be completely honest, and it has to work that way because if you
What
didn't,
would
you'd have
people
fucking
do?
mass murder. It'd be anarchy,
Yeah.
death,
I know. I see you got
fucking
the peace sign anarchy tattoo.
yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Peace within anarchy,
Yeah.
within the true definition of anarchy, not the anarchy that most people believe it to be.
Of what?
Because
Complete chaos or something?
basically, it's no government.
Hmm.
Like there can be a civilized civilization without the use of government, because it's what we've done for most of our lives. We've just recently started giving over more and more. At least here in America, a lot of other places that have dictatorships and stuff like that, they've been under more of the rule of thumb of their government and control. We've had so many freedoms that we've taken advantage of in this country, and that's the problem with the youth today is they don't realize how good they got it. If they saw some of the shit that happened down, like happens in Mexico, like my homeboy that I work with, he's white but he speaks fluent Spanish. He
Hmm.
used to be married to a Spanish chick, and he gets the news from Mexico and the shit that happens down there. If any of these fucking people that are one of these fucking Mexicans are coming here and taking their jobs, no fucking wonder, bro. If you knew what the fuck
Oh,
happens
what
in
they
your
have to go
country,
through?
yeah,
Yeah.
like fucking cars of like fucking decapitated heads just fucking get laid on the side of the fucking road for anybody. You fuck with the cartel, you dead, motherfucker. The police ain't doing shit. The government ain't. They're ran by the
Oh,
cartels.
they're
Like,
corrupt as well. Yeah, and
yeah,
and that's what I hate to see when I'm like, look, man, I know that there's definitely corruption and some whack shit happening in our government, but
yeah.
America ain't that bad.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucking
we're
good.
still the best country right now, and
Yeah.
for right now, it's not gonna last that much longer. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like this
Yeah.
shit's over with. The dream is over with, and the people that keep complaining, like, "Oh, it hurt my feelings." Oh, you might get shot in the face real soon. Like the
Oh.
military might come into your house and pull you out, and just because you don't agree with them, they will fucking shoot you in your yard. If you think I'm crazy for saying that shit,
Well, that's what's
yeah.
interesting about,
Okay.
dude, that's what scares me about, I read books like, um, I guess people would be like, oh yeah, it's like the Orwellian future of like,
Yeah.
just more
George Orwell.
control. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what 1984 was the
Yes,
one,
sir.
and that was a big book. Or Brave New World, the Aldous Huxley book, just about the future and how it's like more censorship, more control. Um, and I'm like, yeah, we're definitely shit. When they shut the whole world down, I was like, whoa, dude.
Which, by the way, I like asking this question to people because most people can't really think of an answer, or they think they know the answer. Okay, so COVID-19 is shut the world down. The world, mind you, not just our country,
Right.
and not every country in the world, but almost every country in the world.
Hmm.
Who shut it down?
The aliens. No. That's what I think. I
People
don't
say
know.
it's the CDC, but that only covers our fucking country. And nobody said in the
Who shut it down? No.
yeah,
Um,
they don't tell
World
you
Health
that.
Organization? No. UN,
They don't
Illuminati.
have the power. So like that's where you got to think like who has the power to shut all
Well,
these countries down?
if you were the most rich if you're the ruler of the world or the billionaire, if I was me, I'd be like, nobody even knows who the fuck I am.
Exactly. The
Like,
people who run shit you don't know.
yeah, it's like I'm hiding away. I'm living inside of the earth. No.
Well, the highest that you can go in our actual like ranking system, the highest you can go and know about in general terms is the CFR, which is the Council of Foreign Relations. That's the highest that it goes within this band of international, a group of people that get together that are pretty much the billionaires who run and fucking everything. Because
Right.
that's one thing I love about this country when people like, well, fucking Trump or fucking Biden, like, okay, first of all, it's a president. Now you got to think about
Yeah.
this. A lot of this time you got to use your
Oh,
mind.
I heard this in your lyrics today too. Something, one of your songs about the
So
president and how they're not really.
yeah, what's a president? What's a president of a company? Imagine, okay, first of all, this company or this country is a business. That's what it's ran like. That's what it is.
It's like a face
They
of the company or something, sort of.
exactly.
Or they take all
So
the heat, sort of.
pretty much they're the puppet of the company
Right.
who take the heat of anything that goes down because it was under their control at the time. But generally it's the shareholders
Hmm.
and it's the people who own the company or own the rights to the positions of the top tier of the company. You don't know the names of those companies for any company out there that unless you are the president or the CEO, you don't know the people who generally own a huge company. And not one person has a share or say in that. So whenever you have this huge company that's running itself, it's got its own morals, it's got its own set of business rules because like business ethics, when you learn that shit in school, they teach it to you, but there's no such thing as business ethics.
Business ethics. All I can think of is Billy Madison. You ever see?
Yeah.
Wait, that was. That's the one the dude trips on and goes crazy and decides I'm gonna shoot everybody, or so I don't know. He's like, I'm done with this
Yeah.
business ethics. But yeah, man. I mean, the business ethics I would say is most of the time like whatever's gonna make you the money.
Exactly. We're gonna get money today.
Mhm.
What are we here for today? We're here to make money. We're here to fucking make people's dreams come true. Fuck that. I'm getting money. That's a business. Doesn't matter what business you're in. I don't care if you say it's a non-profit organization. I love
Oh,
people like
I
that.
know. I'm like, dude,
You
nonprofit.
wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't something,
If there was no
benefiting
profit
you.
involved,
Exactly. If
and
there's
that's
nothing
the
beneficial, what's the point?
dude, that's one of the worst things that you know that I hate about this world sometimes is how a lot of these organizations it'll be like, yo, we're a helpful organization, like when you hear things about like the Amber Alert people or orphanages and this
Yeah.
and that being like, oh yeah, like they're the ones that are supposed to help you, but they're also it's wolf in sheep's clothing type of a
Yeah.
thing.
See, that's why I like Freemasonry because you can actually see these brothers out in the community doing stuff. Like we're physically out there actually helping people and anything that we get donations for because most of the time we don't accept donations
Hmm.
unless somebody really wants to give. We'll take a donation for a certain cause. Normally we don't take general donations. So if we've have something that we're doing an event for and like we had one of well they're not actually part of the organization but they're known through family that one of the older gentlemen that we know their house got burnt down,
Mm.
so we all got together and pitched together and got them a dumpster to be able to tear the house down and get it off the property. And unfortunately that person has passed away from COVID-19
Oh,
within the last month. um,
dang.
the husband, but we're still helping out the wife of the deceased husband.
That's a
And
great
it's just
thing to do,
like,
especially during tragedy.
yeah, I mean, we try to help out as many people as we can, and that's what I love about it is that there's real charity involved. You actually don't just feel like you're doing it just for clout or something like that. You're actually helping people out.
Well, it's interesting, uh, and like, cause I was running around with a lot of the dudes that had this underground hip hop movement, the alumni,
Yeah,
and it
I've
was
seen
rad.
that.
It was cool. And it's like, yeah, I still connect with those people. I don't work with them like I used to.
Yeah.
Times change, but and that's what it kind of seemed like with me in the beginning of it, was the same ideology. It was obviously kind of modeled after, you know, like the founder of it would go under the moniker Illust Illuminati, so it had this Illuminati, and then they'd use Freemasonry symbolism, like
A lot of
compass and
people do that
square
now.
type stuff. Yeah, I'm sure people be rocking it all the time, and they might not even understand it.
Yeah.
But
That's why we don't even use like symbolism or anything in the stuff that we do. Like I said before, we don't really tell anybody. If you ask about it, I'll talk about it. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. If anything, I like talking about it because it's a really good thing. It's helped me out in my life. And most people generally don't understand that because of course they don't understand what it is. But it's to me it's breaking down like the idea of like the Bible. They'll take a lot of the scriptures out of the Bible and it puts in real terms of life and breaks down things in ways that make you understand how things really work in the world, especially when it comes to politics or general life itself or even science. Because there's like 7 words that we like to use a lot when it comes to like mathematics or rhetoric, language, music, and well, there's more. But general idea of those type of words that we centralize our thought processes around, and we
hmm.
do a lot of research and reading. There's a lot of reading involved, and there's a lot of thinking. Like if you're just a half-ass type of person, you're never going to get into a Masonic lodge or go anywhere with it because it has it's a lot of work and there's money
Yeah.
involved and a lot of people, that'll turn them off, especially when they get into the bulk of what you really need to learn and read. And when you read it, you really have to try to interpret it outside the box.
Well, yeah,
It's
you
never going
seem
to tell
like
you.
a pretty smart dude, I'd have to say.
I
And
appreciate that.
yeah, for sure. And like really analytical, I would say, with things where it's like you don't seem to just take things for the surface. You like really, dive
there's
into it
al-
and analyze it.
there's always a psychological reason of why we do things or why other people do things, and there's so many layers when it comes to being a human. That's the one thing that kind of sucks with being a human, though, is because you can be played in so many different ways, or depending on what somebody's trying to get out of a situation,
Oh,
or
true that.
So reading a human's body language and physical aspect, if you learn enough about psychology and body language, you can fucking rule the world. That's why politics do what they do.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, I'll have to, cuz I'm going to be thanks again for supporting the comic book. I got the prototypes of the
Not a
trading
problem.
cards and the comic books. So next week they're supposed to print out the full batches and I'll send it out to you. I'll have to get
Hell
your
yeah.
address and all that later.
All right.
Um but I want to start to expand with it later and possibly have more people put more ideas into the stories, and I want to try and get some of my friends involved and like turn them into characters with I'm just trying to go down that lane of making more. You actually helped me getting more the cartoons because you were one of my
Okay.
first jobs for cartoons,
Heck yeah.
and so
I like your
it's
cartoons. You're good at it, and you should definitely just keep on going with a comic book idea. I actually had the idea for a comic book back in the day, so
oh really?
when I
What is
seen
it?
that, I was like, "Fucking!" It was a comic book called High Times,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like a stoner version of like Adventure Time,
Oh, nice.
but like a mixture of Spawn type drawings. Because Spawn's like my favorite comic book character
Oh
in the
hell yeah,
artwork. So I was gonna do it like
Spawn is
that,
dope.
draw everything, and it just never came into fruition. Me and my ex-wife actually started thinking of the idea. We thought of fucking everything, started drawing up storyboards, and just when it got down to the point where I was doing literally everything, I was like, okay, well, I don't have a partner in this, and then there's just other things. Fucking yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard. Eventually, I want to you know, uh, like you got going on with the theme team. It's finding the right people to work with, and you know,
Definitely.
it is like you say, it's a lot of work if you're trying to get something done yourself. A lot of times it helps having even just belief from other people, or just to know that they're interested and they would like to see,
Yeah.
you
It's it's
accomplish it.
it's hard to get a team. And I feel blessed for having the theme team like Kaz. And then Melissa, she's kind of like an official, unofficial member of the theme team.
Hmm.
She's done a lot with us. We've done like 3 music videos, I think, together, and like a bunch of other different, little songs.
Hell yeah.
She does the podcast with us now. She's our, other co-host. So
Yeah, it's
she's
good to have a female involved as
yeah.
well.
Well, we always wanted to have like a female aspect of it, just that way we could have that different opinion. And she's fucking hilarious. So she works
Yeah,
out
dude.
great.
When I was having that podcast with you guys the other day, I was like, dude, I'd be getting throwing curveballs, slick
Yeah,
legging.
I should. Yeah, I should have told you a little bit about like what we talk about and how we are, and
No, no,
like
I love it. Yeah,
we joke around a lot. So I
that's
try to
good.
tell everybody before they get on there, like, don't take offense to anything, because if we see an opportunity to make a joke about anything, we're gonna go for it because it's entertainment. I mean,
Yeah, and I don't really take offense to anything. I can, you probably understand how it is too. If you create stuff and put it out there, you obviously open yourself up to
yeah,
people's opinions and ridicule, and you'll develop thick skin. But it's also, you know, I like to poke fun at myself even and be like self-deprecating or whatever, because it's like, hey man, don't take life too seriously. We're all human. We're not perfect. You know.
exactly. I mean, you
I don't know.
definitely
Some
can't
of
take it
some
so.
people out there, I don't know if they're human. No,
Yeah,
damn
you never know.
cyborgs.
And reptiles too, man. They're everywhere.
Dude, for sure. I don't know.
The
Yeah, speaking of,
Illuminati.
yeah, Les Illuminati. So, and I guess that's the thing about the conspiracy theories too, is because it's like there's these two worlds of it where it's like, oh yeah, political things, or people be like, like crimes, or
Yeah,
people be like, they throw in like Bigfoot and UFOs
yeah.
and
Flat Earth,
flat Earth. Dude, that was a rabbit hole.
bro.
I went down that for show.
I'm not gonna lie. We could talk about that.
Oh, really?
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to talk
See,
about it, let's
oh yeah.
talk.
I'm down because most people aren't up to talking about it. And like I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't believe that the world is flat, but
It's pretty lumpy.
I don't know the world is flat. I don't know
Yeah.
that it's round only because I haven't been there.
I've
I try
never
to
been
I
up to
look at science.
space. I've been in an
No.
airplane,
Yeah, I've been in
and
an
it
airplane.
starts looking pretty flat, sorta.
It looks pretty flat. All the videos I've seen is pretty flat. Now, the one thing that I can't stand about like people talking about these subjects is people have like an idea of what they know. Like I fucking learned this shit in 3rd grade. Fucking I seen this or
Oh
I
yeah.
did this, and I'm like, we all do that shit. But when you really break it down, because when I first looked into flat Earth, because I looked at almost probably every fucking conspiracy theory you can throw out there,
Hmm.
and flat Earth was like one of the last one on my list before I
For
just started
sure.
fucking like giving up on them. So I looked that shit up a little bit, and I was like, dude, you gotta be the dumbest motherfucker to believe the Earth is flat. What the fuck? Are you serious? You gotta be stupid.
Right.
So
And
I
that's why I
started
was like,
looking.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah. So I started looking the shit up to prove flat earthers wrong.
Right.
Now 6 months later, like I looked at it unbiasedly. Like I'm not. Anytime I look something up, I don't take my own fucking opinions into
Oh yeah,
account.
you
I'm like
don't
I'm gonna
lean
look
too hard this way or that way.
exactly. I've got my idea of it, so that's what started it. Like I'm gonna prove. Let me put this real information out here, so anybody wants to say anything, here's something they could just show them and be like, "Here's a link to this. Go fuck yourself."
Hmm.
So I started doing some real hardcore research, and the shit that I started questioning broke my fucking interpretation of reality.
Dude, for sure.
Like
And that's
the
what I was
amount of
always
shit.
on a search
Uh,
for too, was like, what is reality?
mhm.
Or what is life like? Why is it the way it is?
Man, what got me was the amount of shit that we believe we know, but we don't fucking know. Like, for instance, one example is, whenever you're growing up as a kid, you've seen the globe in the classroom. It's got
Mm-hmm.
the cutout of it, and it's got the different layers. You got the crust, you got the mantle, the outer core and the inner core. You
Mm-hmm.
got all that. They've never dug further than 9 miles in the ground, and they haven't gone as far as they could possibly go in the ocean. So they don't know
Man, that's so
what it
crazy.
looks like, and they show that to kids and tell you that's how this happens. And then I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy. I never even knew that. Like, you look into that, look that shit up. Like, the fact that we've only gone that far, and then all the conspiracies that go along with that itself.
Right.
And then it goes into these different rabbit holes once you get into them. And it was about 6 months after researching the shit and asking like real general scientific questions, and then going into finding, the links, any video, I probably watched every fucking rocket launch that ever existed,
Mm-hmm.
that they've got on YouTube anyways, and all the fucking alien research and all that shit. And then when you still start thinking about aliens, I always believed in aliens, and I always believed that the fucking, what people showed me. I watched every fucking video on YouTube that had an alien ship, or the
Yeah, I
stories
love
behind
them.
different people. Yeah, like, and then when you get into like the real deep shit when it comes to flat Earth, and then the history behind it, where it came from. One of the most
Oh,
epic fucking
that's
documentaries.
dude. What is it?
Eric Dubai,
I
like,
think I
he
may have
made a
watched that. I think I
documentary.
did watch that.
It's
It's like 3 hours
the
long.
history of flat Earth. That's what it's called,
I'm
by
gonna have to
Eric
check it out
Dubai.
again.
That he goes in so much fucking backstory of like how our history was created and where
Like
flat Earth even
ancient.
came from. Yeah, like back in the Sumerian times and
Dude,
their
that's what
different maps of
fascinates
the
me
Earth.
where I'm like, dude, see, that's what got me about flat Earth too, was it wasn't just, oh, the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
It was look at all these different cultures or races and their belief systems and like the Bible, even people would bring up the Bible, and then I would of course see like Freemasonry and all this different symbolism of being like, look at all these different things. They all look different, but it's all kind of the same symbolism and stories that are being
yeah.
told about if you're searching for any sort of truth or any like origin or meaning to
All
the
religions are connected, and most people don't believe or even understand that. But the story is pretty much the same. The
just a
Jesus
different
story
story.
itself, exactly. It's the same characters. It's just a different tweaked in little areas.
Right.
Like, most religion came from the Dead Sea Scrolls. That was like the first doctrine that we ever had.
Oh, and they were like the removed portion or
Yeah.
something.
Well, what the Dead Sea Scrolls was, the first thing that it was found in like I believe it was Israel that they found these in ancient times, and the interpretation of that became the Bible. Like, the first thing that was written was the first five stories of the Bible, which is what the Torah is, and that's the actual King James version of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, the beginning, Bible wasn't the King James version Bible. It was rewritten to see how saw fit, after it got to his time,
Oh,
because it's
right.
been
True.
rewritten so many fucking times. Things have been taken out. There's books of the Bible that they don't tell you about, like the Book of Enoch,
Right.
and so many different Bible books that they don't put out and publish publicly, but
Man,
they still exist.
that's what fascinates me about these other, even like beings from the Bible, where it'd be like, oh, these different the angels or the angels and demons and humans, and I'd be like, dude, this makes me think of some aliens and shit, or like whatever. Once, see, flat Earth actually led me to the reptilian stuff,
Yeah.
and it was like, yeah, I'd always see the alien, typical alien, and I was kind of just looking for inspiration for space cowboy stuff, but that's what led me down that whole rabbit hole. And then just when I thought of it in like that spiritual manner of like, who knows, dude? Anything could be possible. I don't know. Open to it, you know?
You should look up the genetic code of the rhesus monkey.
What is that?
It okay. There's I forget the blood type. There's a certain blood type that can only like that humans have
Hmm.
that can only be transfused by that same blood type. Now, the people with this blood, it's a very rare blood type. It's like a, I forget the fucking word. A buddy that I know is used to do genetics in college for Harvard.
Oh, wow.
So he was on some big projects back in the day, and then he starts talking about, you know, the rhesus monkey and how we have actual genetics from this monkey, and then that it's like the RH negative or some shit like that. I'd have to. It's been a while since we talked about it,
Hmm.
but basically, those people that have that blood type can't have sex with or procreate with another person unless they have that same blood type. So they have a very rare blood type that
Oh,
only they
wow.
have. So
The human
it just
species, or
it's like
oh man,
it's crazy as fuck that only that one bloodline can only do it so because like dogs can't have fucking sex with a
with a cat.
frog,
Yeah, and
and so it's got to be its own species. That's where he started getting into like the idea of it, and he said, you know, I kind of got out of genetics because it gets scary when you get into a certain depth of it, and I can understand like messing with the
well,
genetic code playing God.
yeah, and see that is what is interesting about, well, the scary thing about humans nowadays and like mad scientists that because some people don't think mad scientists exist. I'm like, dude, there's somebody out there who's
That's all
trying
there is.
to make clones and making cures and vaccines and diseases and seeing, well, what happened? Can we mix a I have heard about them. I remember seeing things going about, oh, they're mixing these monkey genetics with humans now, and
Oh, I I, I love talking about this because most people have a certain aspect or an idea of what they think about scientists because, and this is how they control information on people and control your minds. Because what do you think of when you hear the word scientist? What names come to mind?
what names? Well, I don't
The
even know. I mean,
popular names of scientists.
I think of, geez, for some reason I think of like Bill Gates,
Bill Gates.
and
Well, he could be
but
considered a scientist
but
on a
I don't think
certain.
of him as a scientist really.
Well, there's like Bill Nye or
Bill
Neil
Nye
deGrasse
and Neil deGrasse,
Tyson.
yeah, they're like the celebrity, you
That's what most
know.
people think.
Oh, for sure,
Now,
especially the people that aren't that intelligent. And I'm not trying to offend anybody out there, but
no, I
you
wouldn't
know,
say non-intelligent. It's uneducated because you're not
uneducated,
educated in
yeah,
that field, and that
exactly.
doesn't. It's being uneducated is not being stupid. It's just not knowing what's going on in that area of
Yeah.
something. So the way that I see it, you got scientists, and generally this happens with all psychological aspects behind it. Most scientists are poor, and they're just very smart, or they're bred from a very smart line of people that have good, you know, brain contraception,
Hmm.
so they can pretty much do what generally people can't do. You know, when it comes to thinking or thinking outside the box, that's what makes you, you know, more intelligent than most people. So these people go into a field. They, you know, certain people in their schooling either see the aspect of this being a profitable position for them, so they'll invest into that person's education and they become a scientist, and they're smart enough to think so far outside of the box they can almost like tell the future when it comes to technology and shit. And that's where scientists really get their shit. But every scientist in the world gets backed by a government or gets backed by an
Right.
investor who controls all of that fucking shit and owns all that information. So if you made a cure for cancer, they're not going to fucking sell that shit. Why would they want to cure you when they could just give you Advil and tell it fucking makes you happy and fills you with dreams and asshole
And you
fucking
get
glitter?
money for a long time if you're going to treatment.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I mean, the medical field, the way that they make money off of it is so much bullshit. The westernized version of medical is horseshit. That's why when people talk about the COVID, like trust the doctors and shit. Okay, I know people. I don't trust every mechanic I've ever gone to and been
Oh,
like,
yeah, for
change
sure.
my oil well, why the fuck is my shit leaking all in my driveway? You son of a bitch.
Right.
Like, you can't trust everybody just because they're in a field. You don't know what they
Yeah.
made on their test. Maybe they were just good at tests and they can't do the shit in real life. Like, you
And
don't
con
know.
men are real, you know, like,
Hmm.
and if you're a good con, then you're gonna be the most like trusting and persuasive and look like the most nice person, but really have an agenda, you know. And
But
so,
it's all poor people that can be controlled, because if you're rich, if you're born rich and you got money, generally you're not going to become a scientist. There's too much work involved. You want to be at the higher level where you're not doing much work. You're telling everybody else to do the job, and you got authority and power because you got the money. So generally, psychologically, people that are going to be scientists are more poor, so they're more susceptible to being controlled. And that's why all the scientists in the world are controlled, and they will always be controlled no matter what. And
I
we'll
mean,
never.
that's basically the Epstein thing, right? In a
Epstein.
sense of like, oh, there's these compromise. If you compromise,
Oh,
blackmail, get a picture of him with like a young lady,
yep.
or oh, I got you on video with this teenager
It's
or
stated
whatever.
once you get to a certain amount of power or money in a society, especially in America. Like, many artists have talked about this level that you get to, and then once you get to this level, you can't go any further in a celebrity type status or in that realm when it comes to the entertainment or making any kind of money or having that power without going through certain, you know, initiations.
Well, yeah,
Let's
out
say.
in LA, it was my first time out there this summer, but I'd see like the Scientology all over the place and celebrity centers, and I'm like, man, what be going on in the celebrity center? I don't know. I'm not a celebrity, you know. So
I'm not gonna talk a trash
no,
Scientology,
no, me
but
neither. But like you
but
say, you have to go through certain levels of, like you say, maybe like initiations or being like, yeah, you're not ready to even have
they
us
have to have
unveil this
trust.
to you. Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, a lot of the ways that money is made in the world that people don't want to accept or even fucking bring to the light is illegal in most people's eyes. It's a huge fucking money maker. Some of the richest people in the world make money from it. They might not be directly related to it or, have anything to do with it on the outside, but they might have companies that are umbrellaed into it and have that shit going on. It's just the way the world works. I mean, our own government has been caught bringing drugs from war zones in the dead bodies of soldiers.
Oh, I'm
That
sure.
shit
Yeah.
has been,
Man, that's
people talk
crazy
about
though.
that.
And
Yeah,
that's,
like,
that's the type of stuff that I want to bring to light in other forms, where it's like, oh, if you those, put it into your art, you can kind of hint at it and
yeah,
slowly show people that it's like, hey, man, this stuff still happens. It's
that's
not,
why that's why they're trying to censor people right now. And they're
so you got to
using
do
the
it
transgender
discreetly.
community. Exactly. That's how they take over things. Because if you do something in politics or in the government or anything, you do it all at once, people are going to be like, oh no, fuck that. We're all going to stand all up at once. So
Hmm.
what you do is you slowly desensitize everybody with little bitty things. And that's what people don't understand with what's going on in the world nowadays. They think, oh, this is for this or whatever. It's like, no, they're doing this because this is going to change this law. And because this law is changed, it's going to affect this law over here, which is going to do this. And when this happens, when they change this, you're fucked. That's the way it all fucking works. And they slowly, because it's uncomfortable at first, and then you get
Right.
used to it. Like,
Oh,
fuck
if
it,
it's
man.
slowly in time, if you're slowly fed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you slowly poison somebody, and they don't know they're dying. But
Yeah.
that's the way the world works, and that's what's happening right
Shit,
now.
that would be like you're doing that in all these things. And again, that's a conspiracy of like, oh yeah, watch out what you eat or you're drinking or you're consuming like
Well,
fucking
that's all
cigarettes
controlled.
and shit.
Everything
It's
you
like
buy is controlled.
that's how I would be feeling sometimes. Like when you get addicted to something, you're like, ah, fuck.
Well, if they really wanted to like poison us or something, like, just take this into account. You're either gonna drink your faucet water, or you're gonna buy bottled water. It's
Yeah.
not hard to fucking wipe everybody out in one go. 1 month of fucking production of bad water and kills everybody on this fucking planet. Like it could happen so quick we wouldn't even know what was happening. Like people are turning into zombies. What the fuck? Ah!
I know, dude. Yeah. Get the flocka out there on the streets, hit them with the
Mhm.
bath salts, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Why are you
scientists.
eating little Susie's face? Why?
Yeah, dude. That's when I'd be like, dude, you know, it's just such a crazy world. And then, I'm like, the future's looking strange, man. It's
It's looking scary to me. Like I'm, it's hard, and I can't imagine what everybody else is going on right. What's going on in their lives right now because with COVID-19 and the fact that everybody's being affected by it. Doesn't not one person on this earth, unless you live like out in the middle of fucking nowhere and you're part of a tribe, are you feeling? And you might even be feeling it somehow out there. But it has affected so many people, and everybody is depressed because of this. It's created
mm.
like a worldwide depression. I can't even imagine what the suicide rate is right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Especially for the people that even just they were doing good and they were good mental health, or they had a good business going on, and then
yeah,
oh shit, that's fucked now. I invested
like
my whole
building up
life
their
in this.
lives, and then fucking bam.
Yeah, and it's like, or then there's just fucking like stuck at their house like I hate my wife, I hate my husband or whatever. Fuck this
Yeah,
shit, you know.
fuck you, dog. Always asking me fucking for water and food.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all I
Oh
got.
man, when that shutdown did hit though, I was like, that
See,
was
I
the
didn't feel
closest
it.
to a what?
I didn't feel it at all.
The
I
change?
Nope. I didn't get fucking quarantined. I worked the entire time. I did my normal daily routine. The only thing that changed is when because with me living in Georgia, we didn't really mandate a lot. But Walmart was like, you got to wear a mask. And even then, I
Oh
was
right.
like, I walked in sometimes and nobody said shit. So I
Oh
always
yeah.
kept it like below my mouth. I'm like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've had a wild life. If it's gonna go out because a virus is gonna take me, I'm not going out wearing a fucking mask.
Right. True that. Yeah, it's so weird how all the mixed information that's out there, because you'll just hear, I'll see them right side by side on YouTube or whatever, where it's
Six
like,
feet, but you're 3 feet next to each other.
and
Like,
they all, yeah, dude. I mean, there was a time when my son got COVID. I don't know if he actually did, if it was a false positive or if it was a swindle. I don't know. But it was like a sore throat. My wife wanted to take him in for a sore throat, and they're like, oh, it's COVID. Um, I might lose it soon. It says my connection is unstable. But
okay, yeah, I seen you.
yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up soon. But yeah, you just never know what to expect.
Come back, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm
There you,
like,
there he is.
yeah, that is coming back. My homie, I tried to have a conversation with him the other night, and he's into conspiracies, and he's like, oh man, it's the government. They're hacking me, man. Like,
Dude, you never know. I
I
mean, the
know, man. They
phones.
be listening on our phones for sure.
Yeah, they do, and
Yeah.
I can prove this shit to many people. I'm like, talk about something. Talk about something that you don't fucking normally talk about. Like if you don't got a cat, start talking about
Oh,
cat food. Just
and then
have
it comes in
some
your.
conversation. Exactly. You'll have an advertisement for fucking cat food and cat litter and shit.
You're gonna be
Like,
getting them now. No.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially if you're listening to this right now, you're gonna
Yeah, for
get
sure.
shitty kitty.
Yeah, dude, it's
uh,
crazy. Well, I'm glad that we're able to have conversations like this,
Definitely.
and I mean, I think we should do it
Well, I
more
hope for that
often
to
if we
actually
can.
continue because the world
Yeah,
is getting to the point where you can't have conversations like this.
dude, I know it's scary, and especially if they're gonna start this metaverse where we're all gonna be even more intertwined in the internet.
They're going to
Um,
control everything you say and do.
I know, and that's the scariest thing to me when they would talk about things like, of course, people be tripping out, like, oh, the microchips and this and that. I'm like, when it comes to the cyborg stuff and the whole like singularity of merging mankind and computers, I'd imagine you to be pretty smart technologically.
I build
And
computers and stuff,
oh
so
yeah, and it just scares me the whole fact that it's like, yeah, our human body runs off of an electrical system, and
we're
you
basically
know,
like a car, but on
yeah,
a flesh value.
and how if we were intertwined with computers or nanotechnologies.
Actually, they're doing that. Fucking your boy um Elon Musk.
Oh, of
He,
course.
look his shit up. He's actually talking about this thing. I think it's called Cerebro, where they're going to be putting a device inside your brain, and it's going to be a computer processor, and it's going to be connecting. Uh, I guess it'll connect to your heartbeat, your rate, tell you things about your body, how it's running, and eventually through Cerebro, which will control certain electrical impulses in your brain, can cure and like make your body run better, like make your brain run faster.
Oh, and
And
it's like if you even had
like they're
some
actually doing it now.
problems.
Like within this year, he's going to be presenting on a scientific, I guess, convention that he's doing
Man,
about Cerebro, and they're going to start testing on people this year.
I did actually meet somebody that had. Well, I didn't fully on meet him, but it was one of my friend's grandfathers. They were at an event that I was at, and he had some sort of computer put in his brain for his Parkinson's, and it had a little, I think he had like a little bad reaction at first. Just the body getting used to this computer system running inside of it now, and it definitely, I think it sounds cool and hopeful, but it does kind of scare me because I'm like, shit, man, what if you get hacked
Yeah,
or stuff like that? I don't
bro.
know.
The amount of things that they can do, like online, like the things that scares me is like anybody can jack your social media. Like it's gonna get to a
It's
point
happened to
where,
me, bro.
yeah,
Because I have a new one now, dude. I got hacked. I was on a
I remember
tour
that.
and I got hacked like
I remember
12
when that
different
happened
times,
because
and
you
I was
changed
like,
your profile.
yeah, dude, it sucked. I got super hacked, and even when I was starting to get that account back, it was just like, dude, I was like, I shouldn't have it anymore. 'Cause it's already
Yeah.
compromised now, so. But yeah, back to what you were saying, just
Oh,
getting hacked accounts.
basically, what they can do is they can make you look however they want. They can take your profile
They were
and
actually cloning me.
yeah,
They were creating cloned accounts. My friends were like, I got 6 different friend requests from you today, different accounts. I'm
yeah.
like,
They
fuck.
take your name and your image. They can create your own bio. Start going out there because a lot. That's what a lot of people do. They'll be like other people in other countries, like a Middle Eastern country, will
Hmm.
send you an invite here because you'll get those crazy Middle Eastern names. Not to point Middle, it happens all over the world. I'm just saying like this has happened to me recently.
Right.
Where they're taking like pictures of sexy ass bitches, just
Oh
sending
yeah,
me like
they
trying
always
to get
be
me to
trying to
come.
be my friend, and I'm like, dude, this is. First of all, your tits are so awesome looking. I know this is fake
You're
just
too
by.
sexy. Like, what are you
Yeah.
hitting me up for? Come on, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm not ugly, but goddamn, look at you.
Right. Yeah. I ain't rich either. I'm not
Yeah,
that. I'm not
you
that
sitting
man
in a
that you can be
Lambo.
like, yeah.
You want to ride in my Honda?
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, man, I see some people definitely get caught in that trap. I'll see some of my friends with those. I'm like, dude, that you're gonna get hacked, bro. Like,
exactly.
it's just
It's
some,
all bullshit.
yeah. But we almost got hacked. We almost got intercepted our conversation.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
my Wi-Fi just went out for a second or something, but
Goddamn government,
we
man.
have had a deep conversation, bro. Like,
Definitely.
I'm like, so far this is my longest one I've done, and it's the most in depth, like, we're chopping it up about like who you are and what you got going on, and then we just went down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
which I'm stoked though, dude, because um, I think people will dig it,
Well, hell
and
yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. I think it was cool how we could just kind of talk about, whatever, and then the conspiracy theories. I love talking about shit like that. So we
dude,
talk
I
about that all
think
day.
I think we should do it again sometime if you want.
I'm definitely down, brother.
Sweet, yeah. I have just a few homies that I'm like, yo, you'll become my like regular. You'll see like Joe Rogan will have fucking Alex Jones or Duncan Trussell or somebody come on multiple times.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
down.
think,
Shit, you just let me know.
yeah, man. Well, shit, I should probably wrap it up since we've probably gone about 2 hours and we almost got lost, and I definitely don't want to lose this conversation because it's so savage. No,
Yeah. Savage
but
for life.
yeah, dude, and I'm stoked to actually, be able to talk with you on this level because, speaking through Facebook and text
Yeah,
messages is one
you only
thing.
get to know somebody so much through messages, and then talking face to face and getting really to know somebody is a lot better. So it was
Yeah, dude, and
definitely
then
nice, bro.
hopefully one day, I don't know if it'll be next year, but hopefully next year, I want to be able to travel, and hopefully one day I can go down to your area and check it out, and because you've obviously done some live shows.
Yeah,
I would see you
I used
like
to do
rapping
live
on
shows.
stage and playing drums.
Yeah, I used to do live shows all the time. I haven't really done a live show in maybe a year or two now. We've actually, me
Yeah,
and
me
Kaz have
neither.
talked about getting back on stage because he hasn't either.
Hmm.
Just been making music, and doing that, but so I think it's about time to get back up on stage.
Yeah, dude, I had like one thing scheduled at the beginning when before COVID hit, um, and I was after the shutdown, but yeah, that was the only thing I'd done. It's been a couple of years. It's just been kind of weird out there, where it's like, man, it's not like it used to
Yeah,
be.
definitely not. You
But
can't. You never know like what the crowd's gonna be.
yeah, but out here in Montana, like you were saying, out here everybody be like, they ain't wearing masks. I think that the mandate out here got dropped or something.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, so just go through those changes. People out here, they're like, fuck, we don't give a shit.
yeah.
You know.
We're not piled on top of each other like New York. So fuck yourself.
Yeah, for sure, man. Dude, yeah, going to Los Angeles this year. I don't know how the homeless is out in your area.
Oh, it's getting bad out
Is
here.
it?
Yeah,
Dude,
like
and
it's
that
bad.
dude, see, that's one of the things I'm like, man, I gotta try and do some good things for this world because this homeless population is getting crazy.
Well, a lot of homeless I don't feel bad for, only
They
because
definitely
I've
choose that life.
there are a lot of people that choose their life, and there's a lot of people that do that shit. Sorry, I'm coughing so goddamn much.
No, it's all good. I
Tried
mean,
this new vape and the thing's fucking me up. I need to stop smoking that thing. But I knew a group of people. They called they call themselves train kids,
uh-huh. Oh
and
yeah, train
they
hopping, like,
yeah they jump on trains and they travel the country and they do what they call fly a sign.
mm-hmm.
And one of the dudes that I know is really fucking good dude. We used to hang out, talk all the time. He's like, dude, I'm gonna go make some money. So he was living in the place where I'm living. He had him in place. He had people all over all the fucking time, like 6 to 12 people there at least every single night, fucking just getting drunk and playing out and fucking thing. So
Right?
flying a sign, he'd get a little fucking cardboard sign, right? Fucking I need food, whatever. Go up to the corner, $300-400 a day, bro,
Right? Dude, and there's
every
people out
day.
there like working at McDonald's
Yeah,
or even just breaking their back on the construction site maybe to make $100
yeah.
or
In
something.
6 hours,
Yeah,
he didn't even have to go all day sometimes, and he come home with $300. And then they
man.
go and they jump in like Kroger fucking dumpsters and stuff and get food, and then like they're just really smart individuals. They're not. Some of the people could handle themselves like in the job fucking industry very well, and they could do something with themselves, but they want to live free and have that free type of lifestyle. And I mean, if that's your shit, good, but stop begging people for change. I don't. I do
Oh,
enough for charity and do enough for real charities and stuff. I don't give money to people because most of the time I don't have change. I have a debit card,
well, yeah, and we live in a digital. But nowadays, they got the
Cash App, and shit like
Cash
that.
App and
I've
everything.
actually
Yeah.
had a dude do that. He was like, "Bro, I got this shit," and had the little fucking attachment you put in your phone to do
Oh, he's
cards.
like,
I was
swipe your
like,
card.
"Bro, if you can afford that, you can go get a fucking job. Go fuck yourself." Like,
Dude, for real. Yeah, man. I mean, but now with OnlyFans and
oh, I'm sorry,
everything.
baby. I ran
Oh, your
over my
puppy,
doggy.
your dog.
Well, quit
Uh,
being right up under my ass. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean, nowadays with OnlyFans and everything, where I'm like, yo, you can just do so much with a phone nowadays, and
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I mean, I guess so. Before I let you go here, when we were talking about the conspiracies and flat Earth, what really got me to then, when I was like, I'm going deep down flat Earth, is they weren't even talking about just flat Earth, but then it led to the idea or the theory of living in the matrix or living in a simulation. So
Yeah.
like, you got any thoughts on that
The thing that
idea?
kills me is just the amount of scientific evidence that the flat earth community, like the people who are actually intelligent, they put these stupid people on pedestals who just think like, no, they fucking potatoes and butter, man. And fucking they put them out there and they're like, yeah, the flat and the earth is flat because the gravity, meh. But
Oh
if you
right,
really
yeah.
get into the shit, like there's a lot of fucking questions that they ask that holds weight and scientific weight. Shit that can't be explained, shit that can't be fucking answered by science. And like with gravity itself, it's the theory
Oh,
of
things that
gravity
you like that are hard to
that
measure.
that haven't been proven. Like you
Hmm.
can't prove gravity. Now Neil deGrasse Tyson just recently went on Joe Rogan. Like I love watching that episode of Joe Rogan too. When
Was
Neil
it a new one?
I think it might have been the very last one that he did. I think he's been on there like 3 times. But Joe Rogan's asking him about gravity.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just generally asking him a question. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson, you can tell by his body language, is getting like aggravated because he's like, I'm just getting tired of people like asking this question. I'm like, you should be able to prove it. If you've got a
Right.
theory about something and you make something, the way you prove that that exists is you do a scientific experiment on it over and over and over and over and over, and you get a general, an experimental way that it comes out. And then after that has been established, it becomes a scientific fact after a while. You can always have different variables, and that's where those different variables come in, and this happens after this happens and shit like that, and you can bring that in. But there's no fucking experiment that you can do that can prove that gravity exists. You can prove that mass and density exists, but then when you start really talking into because we just kind of believe that we're on a ball and we're spinning and all this shit's
So,
happening,
and
but when
that's
you
the
start,
idea with gravity, right? It's like, yo, it's spinning this fast,
yeah,
so the
and it's
force brings
pulling
the
you in.
orbit in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Where
well,
does that happen in nature?
so what do you
Like,
think about like there's been times in my life where, I'd like eat a lot of mushrooms or something and have some far out thoughts. And I remember one time I was like, I literally like thought I could levitate if I really focused. But you ever see those guys like some shaman or some like dude that's like, yo, he lives in a cave and he just like meditates his life,
monks, like if you read about the monks and
like
the
Shaolin
stuff that they've
monks or
um I guess in one instance you could call them Shaolin monks, but
like the Buddhists
just
and
the one,
Tibetan
yeah, the
monks.
Buddhists,
Mhm.
stuff like that, and different in different temples.
Mhm.
You could go there and some of them do some fucking amazing feats that they've actually done documentaries on and taken video of and shit that's just fucking inhuman that you couldn't think is
Dude.
fucking possible. And it's not a fucking illusion. Like they're literally doing it with their body. Like how the fuck? Like standing on or putting their fucking stomach on a fucking knife and putting their full body weight on it. That's sharp as fuck. That you just stab into anything.
Oh, dude, that's what
And
I
like,
love about like freak show type stuff
yes.
or it's like you guys brought up in that show the other day about, oh, is it superhuman or supernatural? And I just happen to be somebody that does believe in the potential for superhuman stuff nowadays, and I do think that there is supernatural forces out there for sure.
Well, I mean, when you really think about into science, like sometimes science is almost like it's supernatural. That's where
Yeah,
they
for
they
sure.
bring in the idea of alchemy,
Mhm.
and alchemy is a real fucking thing. People don't talk about it a lot because it's kind of a taboo subject when it comes to science.
Well, and
There's a lot of,
alchemy is kind of like the transformation
yeah,
of
it's
something.
using like actual chemicals and the chemical compositions of different things and breaking them down and creating new things
Mhm.
out of them. And that's where chemistry came from, is alchemy. That's what it really is when it gets down to it. But there's some people that use alchemy with a spiritual
Hmm.
aspect, because we can feel tech, technically, if you really want to break it down, what a person or what anything is in this world is a vibration and a frequency.
Hmm.
And that is the frequency and vibration of certain patterns of like people itself. We vibrate on a certain frequency, and that's how we interpret reality, how we see things, how colors exist, and that's how they've figured out how to break down the idea of reality anyways. I mean, other people have different aspects.
Well, dude,
That's what I generally believe. But
and that's dude, I believe it too. And even before I would eat, like, cause like I've said, I would go on these psychedelic binging on psychedelics, and it puts you in that frequency of like a vibration, and you
it
think of
opens
things
your
on that
mind like a
molecular
motherfucker.
level for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I am running out of space on my computer,
Okay.
apparently, but yeah, dude, again, comes in that whole idea of the matrix or the simulation, everything being energy, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so, bro, I guess I better let you go, but the
Yeah.
energy, bro, good energy, man. I'm feeling the good vibes from you. I appreciate this conversation. It was like, I
It's
can't
a
wait
hell
to
of a
have more of them,
conversation.
bro.
Definitely. I'm definitely down. You just hit me up and let me know, brother.
Well, maybe, you and I might be able to try and do something like even once a month or something
I'm down.
like this.
Hell
Obviously,
yeah.
we'll be more in touch, but yeah. So I guess for anybody out there who just wants to connect with you,
Yeah.
what's the best way to
Uh,
connect with you?
you can hit us up at Theme Team Remix or the Theme Team Remix. We mainly go by Theme Team Remix. And Real Ones Podcast. We are on Mondays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Time for Georgia. Sorry. We also got Melissa Rose at Melissa Rose, spelled MILYSSAROSE. You can check out my personal stuff. I'm on Spotify. I'm on every social media site. Check me out at xBVDDx. And mainly what I work through right now is the Theme Team Remix. If you need music videos, commercials, any kind of music, you need it recorded, mixed, mastered, just mix and mastered, any kind of editing done, just let us know. And I
Dope,
appreciate
bro.
you having me on, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. I look forward to next time. I'll tune into your guys' shows and I'll stay tuned in with y'all. And I'll probably end up sharing this, I don't know if tomorrow or the next day. But yeah.
Okay. Just let me know and I'll
Yeah,
promote.
I'll definitely tag in and all that jazz. So,
Heck yeah.
well, hell yeah, brother. Happy Halloween, dude. It's been rad. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, peace.